What's up, guys? This is the IJPmexican. Almost a year after the series ended, we're finally doing it, gentlemen and gentlemen, because no women watch this show. We're finally doing it. We're finally doing our final thoughts on Generation 1 Pokemon. It's been almost over a year since I played the game. Any original thoughts that I had planned for this are probably not going to be mentioned in the way I intended to when I thought up this concept, so you should probably do things when you think of them, because then you're going to forget, you know, unless you write a script, which I didn't do. So yeah, I do have bullet points over there on my computer. There's just a few of them, so yeah. I also rewatched the series, and god damn, I did a bad job. It's really boring. The first like 3 episodes are okay. Then like episode 4 and 5 are decent, but then episode like 6, 7, and 8, 9, 10 kind of vary in the how bored I sound. I wasn't bored, I was just trying to keep quiet because I was recording late at night, so I ended up just sounding like, yeah, so, yeah, what's going on now? That's pretty much what I sounded like, which sucks. Did I mention I have a Pikachu shirt on? I don't think I mentioned that. I completely forgot about that, yeah. That's why I have it on. It's kind of pointless because it's below the camera, but, you know. It says his name in Japanese. Right off the bat, I gotta say, the original 151, in my opinion, which is an objective fact, are the best designed Pokemon in compared to all other generations. Gen 3 coming in close second place. Those are pretty cool too. Gen 2 kind of lagging behind there, buddy. Pretty unimpressive. And every gen after that, I just think, like, they kind of suck. Not saying that the individual Pokemon from certain generations aren't cool. For example, this one looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? This one looks interesting, yeah. But then you have stuff like this, and it's like, okay. And we got some funny ones like this one. Originally, I hated this one, but it grew on me. So, Gen 1, 151, the originals, best designed. You know, and you can say, oh, but Magnemite's just a magnet. No. If Magnemite was made now, he would look like this. I'm running out of battery. God damn. I have to restart this in a bit. Shit. Alright, I gave the thing a 19-minute charge, yeah. Alright, an important thing to keep in mind is that Pokemon is an RPG. If you keep that in mind when you're playing it, it changes your perspective on it. Especially if you compare it to Dragon Quest, because a lot of the people who made this game were fans of Dragon Quest, and obviously took inspiration from Dragon Quest. For example, once you get to about halfway through the game, you get to this one part where you can explore pretty much the rest of the world, which is very much like Dragon Quest when you get the boat. And then you eventually have to go back home, and then face the final challenge through going home, through a path where you couldn't previously go through. But now you can, because you have all of the trinkets and stuff that allow you to go there, which is very Dragon Quest 3 and 1-ish. I don't know about 2, I haven't played 2 or 1, but I'm getting distracted here. A lot of the criticisms of this game arise from people thinking about this game as a competitive battling experience, which is completely wrong. Which is completely wrong way to look at it, because it's an RPG, single player RPG adventure. So yes, there is PvP in the game. Did you know that was an afterthought? That's a really important thing to keep in mind. Yeah, it seems pretty weird now to think like, oh, why wouldn't they include battling with trainers? Like, it's pretty obvious. You know, it's a pretty obvious thing. No, that was like a last minute addition from what I understand. So, yeah, imagine Pokemon with no PvP. Like, completely crazy, right? But if you think of it like that, it's like, yeah, this game was not meant to be, you know, played, you know, PvP, you know? I mean, it still works, and there was still a competitive scene that arose despite the fact that it wasn't, like, thought up of when they were making the game. But, it's pretty obvious when you think about it. It's like, yeah, this thing wasn't designed for competitive play. Now, is that an excuse? Not exactly, because the rock, paper, scissors system was already in the game, so, you know. And we get to the biggest point of criticism, I think. Maybe not the biggest point of criticism, but the most pertinent, at least for this Let's Play, which is Bug-type Pokemon. Bug-type Pokemon suck. Now again, it makes sense that they suck. Again, if you compare it to Dragon Quest, early on you fight really weak enemies, in this case bugs, makes sense how they wouldn't be as useful later on. Except in Dragon Quest you don't use the monsters, you just beat them and then move on. So, yeah. Again, going back to the rock, paper, scissors system, it really is unbalanced when your weakest type is strong against the strongest type. So the strongest type becomes even stronger then, which isn't good. Not all the bugs suck. We got these two boys. They don't get any bug moves though. They have no damaging bug moves. What's up with that? That's not cool at all. There's only 3 damaging bug moves in the game and they get none of them. None of them. The strongest one is technically Pin Missile, which does 18 base damage. It can hit 5 times. The other one is a Beedrill exclusive move that does 25, I think, or 20? That is insane. And these two boys, their stats are decent, but they're not like overpowered to the point where you're like, okay, it would be unfair if we gave them a stab move, right? So let's just give them normal moves that they don't get stabbed from. They're not that good. They're not good enough to like warrant that thing. Also, they're pretty useless if you're going up against a Kadabra or anything, because what's the point then? Just use a different Pokemon. Might as well just use Jolteon, because it has Pin Missile and it's really fast. Useless against Kadabra. Good against Kadabra. Has bug move, doesn't have bug move. What's up with that? It's stupid. And speaking of moves, the moves in Gen 1 just kind of suck all around. The variety is very shallow and non-existent. I think that's, if you could like retool this game, if we could like add, if someone can make a mod where they just add a whole bunch of the new moves, or if not all of them, to Gen 1, I bet Gen 1 would be maybe more enjoyable for certain Pokemon. Because again, these two boys, they look really cool, but they don't have a stab move, so they're kind of like, do I really want to use this? They look cool, but you know. That's probably my biggest criticism of the game right now, just because we used Roach Commander, and he did a lot better than I was expecting. But yeah, I would have wished he would have done even better. But again, this game was not made with competitive in mind. I am now reviewing the game through a competitive lens of thinking, oh, these moves suck because they do so much damage, and that's not good. But that doesn't really matter, because again, how many kills did we get? Was it 5 or was it 4? I honestly don't remember. I think it was 5. During the Elite Four, with a Beedrill. You're not going to be able to do anything competitive with a Beedrill, yet I got 5 kills on the Elite Four. That's something to like keep note of, right? Like, seems like bugs don't suck that much if you can actually use them in the Elite Four, like legitimately. I didn't have to like switch to something that knows Sand Attack and like, you know, blind the opponent and then switch to Beedrill and have him hit him like 16 times. It was pretty straightforward, which is really cool. Again, I used the Rattata. I used Eradicate. He was useful. Surprisingly, his stats suck, and we still got to use him. So, when they say there's no wrong way of playing Pokemon, I believe it a little more now. Crazy things, right? You never would expect it. Yeah. Alright, now, since we're on criticisms, this is another big one that a lot of people, I think, over-exaggerate. And that's glitches in the game. On paper, they seem really bad. Really, really bad. And really annoying. But I ask you this. How many of those glitches do we actually run into during this Let's Play? And how many of those glitches will you actually run into during your Let's Play? Genuinely. I'm willing to bet not a whole bunch. You know, stuff like Hyper Beam, you know, not needing to recharge if you kill the guy, the whole, if you use Toxic and Leech Seed, the damage just accumulates and, you know, sucks you up and you die super easily. Stuff like that, those are things where like, okay, the Hyper Beam one I get, the Leech Seed and Toxic one, it's like, okay, in what situation are you going to encounter a trainer that knows Toxic and Leech Seed and it's going to use it on you? It seems like that's more of a competitive complaint, you know? It seems like that's something that somebody used in competitive and somebody else went, hey, that's a glitch. Now to be fair, there are some glitches that you will encounter, definitely. Like if you use Fly and you take damage, if you damage yourself and you're like stuck in the air, yeah, that's annoying, I guess, but you know, it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. Again, people say like this game is almost unplayable. It's not that bad. It is bad. It's not that bad. And then there's some weird glitches that a lot of people don't know. Did you know if you defeat certain Pokemon with certain other Pokemon that evolve with stones, and if they level up from battling that Pokemon that they defeated, they will just evolve? So if you need a Moonstone to evolve a Pokemon, and you use that Pokemon to defeat Onix, I think, and you level up, you'll just evolve. I think that's one of the examples. Onix is definitely one of them. I can't remember which stone he is. But yeah, you can just completely ignore stones if you know that. Now, is anybody ever gonna actually run into this problem? Probably not. Because it's so like specific thing to do, so it's like, okay. It's pretty cool. There's also a badge boost, which is something that I did not know up until like a few months ago, which is crazy. So those swords dances that we were doing with Beedrill weren't just upping his attack, they're upping, I don't think all of his stats, but a lot of his stats. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's not really a problem. That's not even a problem you can encounter in competitive, so, you know. There's glitches in the game. They're kind of annoying. The most annoying thing we ran into was the wrap. Them using wrap. But that's not a glitch, that's like an oversight. So, that move usually gets like lumped into glitches when people talk about them. It's an oversight. They intended for the move to work like that. Unless they didn't. But I don't see any evidence of that. Maybe there is evidence, but I don't see it, so. Alright, so since we're talking about criticism and dumb things, let's go to the funniest one, I would say, which is the trainers. The trainers. I'll be showing stuff on screen. So, this never really happened to me, but the trainers often do stupid things that make no sense and shouldn't be, like, possible for them to even do, like Blaine using a super potion at the beginning of the battle. Yeah, that's, I forgot about this. Like, what? Can someone please explain to me why that happened? I don't think I've ever seen that ever happen, where they used a super potion before anything happened. Blaine using Roar at all, because Roar doesn't do anything outside random battles. But, yeah. Oh, what move did he do? Why did they give him Roar? Blaine using Ember on his like level 47 Arcanine. Actually playing. Yeah. Then use Ember. Like, why does he have Ember? Why? Trainers using X attack twice and then using a special move. That was not lucky on my part, but that is lucky on my part. Because, you know, I thought like, you know what, I should probably... Wait, did he use X attack and now he's using a special move? And now he's using it again? That's weird. Okay.
Just hit yourself.
What was that?
I've never seen that. I've never seen the Muse Dream Eater when the Pokemon's not asleep. That's weird. That's a flaw. That's a definite flaw there.
The rival, I honestly don't remember what the rival is. I just have in my notes the rival sucks at the end. I remember me commenting on him being like not the best trainer in the world after he said he was, because he had like crappy moves. I don't remember. Here's the clip.
I'll tell you, I'm the most powerful trainer in the world. Ryan decides to go for Fury Attack? I don't think our rival is the most powerful trainer in the world. And he leered. Okay. Why does he have Ember? Why would you put Ember on your... Yeah, Washington. He uses Roar, which does nothing this gen. Sweet. Thank you for your... You're not the strongest trainer, no.
Another thing that a lot of people like to complain about is the fact that TMs are one use and that they're often like the best moves. Again, if we go back to the first point, this is an RPG. What's crucial in RPGs? Decision making. You have to pick. Okay, do I want this Pokemon to have Flamethrower or this Pokemon to have Flamethrower? I can only put it on one. Which one do I want to pick? And again, this is a big criticism that stems from competitive players wanting to build a competitive team in which all their Pokemon know Flamethrower, but they can only choose one. Again, this game was not made with competitive in mind. It is a single-player adventure. It is a single-player adventure RPG. Yeah, optimization really. I mean, you can optimize in an RPG, but not for competitive stuff. Hey, look, it's reflecting. So, I personally like the fact that you can only do it on one Pokemon. Again, decisions. Decisions are important. Limitations are also... Oh my god. Hey, you know, we've waited so long to make this video that that dog was a puppy when we beat the Elite Four? Isn't that funny?
Come on. Dragonite, going back to Washington. Crossing my fingers, hopefully he doesn't...
Limitations are important. People complain all the time about limitations in the real world and in video games. Limitations are important. Limitations are what gave us shows like this, you know? They couldn't just do whatever they wanted. They had to get past the censors, so they had to be clever about it. Same thing. You can't just put flamethrower on everything. You can't put hyper beam on everything. You know, hyper beam isn't that great of a move, but you know. You gotta think about it. Like, okay, should I give Snorlax Earthquake or this other Pokemon Earthquake? Sandshrew doesn't learn Earthquake naturally. I should probably give it to him. I think he doesn't learn Earthquake naturally. Until like Gen 7 or something. Oh my god, John, you're interrupting the video! It's okay, John. Shout out to John, he's sending me a message. Something about... I read something about William. I don't know who William is. Maybe he didn't say William. What did you say, John? Oh, shut up, dog. Oh, I might be able to record Pokemon tonight. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! So, yeah, limitations are good. They're good for RPGs. That's pretty much everything I wanted to bring up, except for one thing. But I think I'm gonna bring it up in the Gen 2 video if I ever make that. Which is, you can't get... It takes like too long to get certain Pokemon. You can't get them at any point. You have to wait. And some Pokemon are like more needed in certain areas than in others. For example, the only electric Pokemon you can get really early on is Pikachu. And that's like, you know, kind of a flaw. I want to use a different Pokemon. I have to wait up until I get to the power plant, really? Like that far away? But we're going to address that point later. And I think people are being unfair and uncritically thinking when they mention that. But I'm going to say that for Gen 2. Because I think it's more pertinent in Generation 2. I think I pretty much brought up everything I wanted to. If I don't remember, if I forgot to mention something, I might put it in post here. I forgot to mention that there's only one ghost Pokemon in this entire game. When your game works off of a rock, paper, scissors function, like I mentioned earlier, it kind of throws it out of whack when you're so unbalanced in that way. Now that being said, I do think if you think of this game again as an RPG, it does kind of make sense them having like only one ghost enemy. That's something that's very RPG-esque. So Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar pretty much represent all deceased Pokemon. It wouldn't really make sense if there would be like different types of spirits, because that's essentially what there are. They're like the Pokemon spirit passing on. So it'd just be kind of weird seeing like this Pokemon spirit is this, and this one is this one. So, yeah. Now I know this later gets changed, more ghost Pokemon get introduced as the generations go on, but again, this is their first generation, they weren't thinking long term, and it makes sense that there's only one. Again, if you think of this game as an RPG, because that is a very RPG-esque thing to do. Another thing that I forgot to mention is the Elite Four. The Elite Four are a decent challenge if you're going through it for the very first time. It's a breeze for me now, but when I think I beat the Elite Four in Generation 1 the first time with the 3 legendary birds just because I couldn't do it with my own Pokemon, which is really funny. If you watch the 14th episode, I didn't really struggle that much, and again, we use a Beedrill, so you know, it's not that hard. Now, I like Lance. People kind of crap on Lance, saying that he's not difficult at all, but again, hindsight, people have a lot more experience with the game. Going up against Lance the first time ever, it's really difficult because of Dragonite and his other dragon Pokemon. Now again, dragon types are another instance of there only being one type for the type of Pokemon. In this case, I think it works really good because essentially Dragon type is like a special mythical Pokemon outside of like legendaries and stuff like that. So it makes sense that there's only one. Ice moves aren't super common, so unless you know to go in with an ice type, you're probably gonna struggle a lot against this thing. Which I think is a nice twist, you know, just keep you on your toes. There isn't a whole bunch of ice Pokemon out there. There isn't a whole bunch of ice moves out there either. So it's definitely a decent challenge the first time. And again, ignoring competitive, there only being one dragon move in the game doesn't really matter because you're not gonna have like that dragon move to fight him anyways. And besides, it's a fixed damage moves, so, you know, no stab or anything. Now, I didn't really talk about the special stat being, well, one stat instead of a special attack and special defense in this video, but that's really just because everybody talks about that, and, you know, I don't think it can really contribute anything. I think people are correct when they criticize it, so that's why I didn't really mention it. So don't, like, you don't need to post in the comments like, hey, you didn't mention this is a big flaw. Everybody knows. I don't really need to mention it. It didn't really affect the Let's Play, honestly. Probably the biggest oversight, though, is if you gain enough experience to skip a level, you won't learn any moves that you would have learned on the level that you skipped, which is what we saw with our starter, which is why we had to switch W to Washington. So that's honestly something that probably not a whole bunch of people are going to encounter, but it is definitely something that can happen, and it happened to me. I wasn't doing anything out of the ordinary, I was just playing the game, and it happened, and I didn't even notice it happened. I had to go back and watch the footage to see what happened. If I'm a little boy playing this game, or an adult that's not recording and can't look back on footage to see what happened, they're just going to be really confused and not know that Squirrel should have water gun way before level 15. Oh, the sprites. Okay, that's one. Sprites are funny. I like them. I like how dumb they look. I prefer to playing red and blue than to yellow just because of the ugly sprites. I like it. So, yeah, this is me. I understand why people want to look at that, but I like it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, yeah. Alright. Peace. That's pretty cool.